Hi students, welcome to another video of Smartly Learn. In this video, let's have some quick tips for polynomial lessons. So we'll start with the basics. If we write a p of x with a polynomial, the degree of the polynomial is going to be the highest power of the variable. So let me write a sample polynomial. P of x is ax² plus bx plus c. Let's compute the degree of each term. The first term's degree is 2. The second term's degree is 1. Why? Because x power here is 1. The last term, which is a constant, the degree of a constant is actually 0. For this particular polynomial, the degree is going to be the highest degree of this whole expression, which is 2. The other important takeaway that you need to know is the degree of a polynomial cannot be negative or in fractions. So both are not acceptable. So let's take a polynomial, say x plus 1 by x. These will be actually not called polynomials. Why? Because in the first term it is x, the second term it is x power minus 1. Remember, in the whole expression, even if one term has a degree that is negative, this particular expression is not referred as a polynomial. And with that in mind, let's generate sample space for a 2-degree polynomial or a quadratic polynomial, which is going to be ax² plus bx plus c. However, if I want to generate a 3-degree or cubic polynomial, it is ax³ plus bx² plus cx plus d. Now, a polynomial is going to be called as linear if it has 1 zeros. Okay, the number of zeros here is going to be 1 in linear. If it is a quadratic polynomial, then the number of zeros it has is 2. If it is cubic polynomial, the number of zeros it has is 3. So depending upon what kind of degree you have, the number of zeros for that polynomial is also determined like that. Now, if I call k as a 0 of a particular polynomial, then it means that p of k is equal to 0. So if I say a polynomial has n degrees, it has at most n zeros. Now let's look at the geometrical meaning of zeros. If I say I plot the polynomial in terms of a graph, the number of points it hits the x-axis. So if I draw this as the 0 or the curve of the polynomial, the number of points it hits the x-axis is going to be the number of zeros this polynomial has. In this particular case, there are 3 points in which the curve touches the x-axis. Therefore, the number of zeros is 3. If in case the polynomial doesn't touch the x-axis, this polynomial has no zeros. Now let's move on to, we already know from 9th standard how to solve linear equations in one variables. So let's take a quick example. Say ax plus b is equal to 0. Then the 0 of this particular linear expression, if I refer it as k, is going to be equal to minus b by a. Okay, I take the b the other side, so minus b, x is equal to minus b by a, which is called the 0 of this particular linear equation. Now let's take a sample quadratic equation and try to understand about its zeros. So if I write the standard quadratic equation, ax² plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then this particular quadratic equation can have 2 zeros. We will call them as alpha and beta. So the relation between alpha and beta with the coefficient is as follows. Alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a, and alpha beta is equal to c by a. So for this particular style of quadratic equation, I will be able to generate alpha plus beta as minus b by a and alpha beta as c by a. The other thing is, if for some reason the alpha plus beta and the alpha beta is given to us, the quadratic equation can be formed by the formula x² minus of alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. So if they give you the sum and the product of the zeros and ask you to form the quadratic equation, this will be the format. If they give you the quadratic equation and ask you to generate the alpha plus beta and alpha beta, we will use this particular format. Now, we also need to know certain properties for these alpha and betas. So this alpha beta can be used using this particular quadratic equation. We will be asked to generate the value of alpha square plus beta square, say 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta, or alpha cube plus beta cube, and so on. So these are possible board exam questions. For all of these, you should be able to interpret the given expression as some expression of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. So for this, let's see, alpha square plus beta square can be rewritten as alpha plus beta the whole square minus 2 alpha beta. So you know already the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta from this quadratic equation. You can simply substitute and calculate alpha square plus beta square. Now in this case, if you take LCM, it actually reduces to alpha plus beta by alpha beta. Cross multiplication, I have just rewritten the order in the numerator because addition is commutative. We already know the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Simply substitute here, you will get your value done. Now for alpha cube plus beta cube, you can use the formula alpha plus beta the whole cube minus 3 alpha beta into alpha plus beta. Again, we know the value of alpha plus beta, we know the value of alpha beta. We can simply substitute in this particular expression to evaluate what is alpha cube plus beta cube. Sometimes the expression may be extended to alpha power 4 plus beta power 4 or alpha power 6 plus beta power 6. So let's see how to do that. Alpha power 4 plus beta power 4 is equal to alpha square plus beta square the whole square minus 2 alpha square beta square. So here you will separately find out what is the value of alpha square plus beta square, and then you put it here because we already know alpha square plus beta square is equal to alpha plus beta the whole square minus 2 alpha beta. So whatever you evaluate here, you can substitute it here, square it, minus 2 alpha square beta square, which is nothing but alpha beta the whole square. So I can rewrite this particular expression as 2 alpha beta the whole square. Now let's do the whole process for alpha power 6 plus beta power 6. This is going to be alpha cube the whole square plus beta cube the whole square. So this is alpha cube plus beta cube the whole square minus 2 alpha cube beta cube. So here again you can compute alpha cube and beta cube separately, substitute it here, and then get to solve this further. So depending upon what kind of input expressions are given, you may have to recollect the 8th or 9th standard polynomial formulas to substitute and evaluate. Now let's move on to the cubic expressions. So let's generally write the cubic expression for a polynomial in certain style. So cubic polynomial, we've already seen it's ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is equal to 0. Now there are going to be 3 zeros because it is a cubic polynomial. We're going to call them as alpha, beta and gamma. So let's find out the relation between them. Alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus b by a. Alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma is going to be equal to c by a. Alpha beta and gamma is equal to minus d by a. So if this is a relation between the sums, the products, etc. of the zeros, let's try to write the cubic polynomial with respect to this. So this is x cube minus of alpha plus beta plus gamma x squared plus alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma x minus alpha beta gamma is equal to 0. So this is the form in which the cubic polynomial zeros can be written as terms of the coefficient. The other important thing that you need to do is any quadratic polynomial that you draw will be going to be a parabola or an upward or downward curve. So if we try to draw or plot the point of a quadratic equation, either it will be in this style or it will probably turn out to be this. So if you see a quadratic polynomial ax² plus bx plus c, it will have this upward curve if a is going to be greater than 0, and it will have a downward curve when a is less than 0. So this could be possibly asked in the terms of an MCQ. Please be aware of this. Other than these, you should be able to solve out for missing variables, also find the zeros, verify the relation between the polynomials and the coefficients. These are some of the common questions that you could anticipate in the board exam. In the next video, we will see some quick tips for the lesson linear equations. See you in the next video. Bye.